Hello, Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious, and welcome to TransurfingTV. I'm Renee Garcia, and today we are going to talk about living with clarity, clean living, living with clear vision for yourself and your life and your trajectory, and it's going to be pretty awesome, guys. Before I get started, remember to like this video and comment below. My world is taking care of me to enter my daily giveaway for my reprogramming stickers. And if you would like to join the Teachable course, the only endorsed English language transurfing course by Vadim Zeland, down below. It's endorsed by Vadim Zeland. It's made by me. But the link is below if you have interest. Check that out. So living clearly. I was reading a book a few days ago, and there was a great little analogy in there that I was like, God, isn't that just so representative of our experience as a human being, as human beings? And what the story was, is it was about a group of people in a little boat that got caught in the ocean in the fog, right? And they couldn't find land, and there was no lighthouse around, and they were struggling to understand which direction they were going in and how to get safely back because a storm had come. So once they started getting closer to land, the fog started to dissipate a little bit, and they could see just like, you know, a very vague like silhouette of the land. They knew they were at least headed in the right direction. And as they got closer and closer and closer, obviously they got more information about where they were and what they needed to do to get themselves into a better situation. So this is kind of what living with the intent of receiving clarity is about. And really trying to set the intention that you are going to embark on a journey of gathering information and using that information, which is exactly what you're doing right now using this video, or watching this video. So as you're watching this video, this is your attempt, this is your higher self trying to get you in contact with the information that you need to evolve as a human being and live with more awareness and live with more clarity and live with more intention and live with higher actions and higher thoughts and all of that stuff. So at first, the initial intention really should be, as it has probably happened with you, as it has happened with me, is opening the self to receiving clarity, more clarity, right? So this is what happened for me 5 years ago when I left my home and I decided to rewrite the script of my life and find some information that was going to help me gain clarity. God, if Reality Transurfing has done anything for me, and probably for you guys too, it has been to help you find and discover clarity, right? Or have clarity of what the system actually is, who you actually are, and your relationship to the whole thing, right? So the first step at really evolving from this moment on to that higher lifeline, to that higher version of you, is to create a really clean slide. A really clean slide where you are acting as your higher self, you are connecting with higher information, you are connecting with higher opportunities, you are acknowledging your intention is in fact a version of reality that you can access, right? And creating this slide that is your goal. This is your goal. And everything, all the information that you gain, all the insights you gain, all the stuff that's going to help you is really there to just help materialize that slide. And you are going to use your evolving clarity and your invitation for more clarity into your layer of reality that's going to help you achieve this slide. So talk first about, and this is an ongoing process, right? We're never going to achieve full clarity. It's just not going to happen. And why would you want it to happen? You can still be evolving as a human being in your 90s or when you turn 100, right? You could still be finding stuff that's helping you to see life a little more clearly. So it's an ongoing process. There is no there, right? There is no there. So first I'm going to talk about some of the positive attributes of living clearly. This is you seeing the bigger picture, or how you can actually start to see more clearly, rather. Start by, and this has been monumental in my growth the last 5 years, is creating a bigger picture for myself. A lot of people are living in the day-to-day and the week-to-week, and I just got to get by this month and all that stuff. And, obviously we want to live in the moment. We want to seize the moment, because the moment is the center screen, and the moment is, being present, being aware, all that stuff, not looking towards the future consistently, because that's where anxiety kind of exists. But creating that bigger picture of what you want your life to look like, right? Rather than just trying to survive the day that you're in or the week that you're in. Start looking at things in a longer time span. So one of the biggest shifts that I've made in my life in regards to this, and which has helped me immensely, is I'm looking at my life now in 10-year blocks, right? So I just turned 40. By 50, I have a very clean slide of where I want to be when I'm 50. And it's awesome. And I'm actually making that happen. Now, I'm not quite to 60 yet. I have some vague things, like really vague financial goals and stuff like that. But really, I'm just looking at like that next 10-year block. So a lot of times, and I'll talk about this more when we get over to the negative side, a lot of times what happens is people set a goal for themselves, and then that week it doesn't work out, and they're like, or that month, or even that year, and they're like, oh man, I think I made the wrong choice. You very well may have made the wrong choice if it wasn't in line with your heart and mind coordination, right? But if it was the right choice, and you're just looking at a little setback in your week as though it's a sign telling you you're not headed in the right direction, this is why most people give up. So if I have something that happens to me in any of the different endeavors that I am currently working on, right? If anything happens to me, I kind of just like ride right over it. Like it doesn't even matter, because I'm not looking for it to succeed in that week or this month or that year. I'm looking at a much bigger picture. I'm seeing a much longer time span, and I'm looking at it from like a 10-year block. I've committed the next 10 years to doing this. So imagine if I continue to do this for 10 years, where I'll be when I'm 50, right? It's gonna be pretty damn bitchin'. So wider view, 10-year blocks, longer time span. This is going to provide you with more clarity, just because you're not so snail-like focused on that moment, responsive, reactive, all that stuff. You can zoom out. Check that video out that I did, zooming out versus zooming in. Zooming out is so much better than zooming in. The experience is a lot better. Getting me to my final point on the positive side, define your experience, right? Define what you want your experience to be like. And whatever it is with anything, a new professional trajectory, finding a romantic partner, buying a house, define what you want your experience to look like in a broad sense, right? And again, work on that from a zoomed out perspective. That way, if something doesn't go exactly in the direction of your intentions, you've got the broader experience defined, and you just go at it a different way, right? Try in another direction, maybe let go for a little while. This is another thing that doing all this stuff really provides. If you're in it for the long haul, if you're looking at the bigger picture, if you're doing a 10-year time span thing, then if something's not working for you in that moment, you could back up off it and leave it for like a few months, right? And then come back to it later and just tap back into what your definition was of that experience and then start again, right? You don't have to give up entirely, but zooming out definitely gives you the ability to have a few more options rather than something goes wrong and you're like, oh crap, this isn't working, I'm just gonna give up. So, living clearly in some of the things that need to be addressed, breaking free from negative habits and patterns out of line with your big picture. So really check yourself, right? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself and make sure that you are not doing something that's against that bigger picture, a negative habit. Maybe this is negative self-talk. Maybe this is some kind of self-sabotaging thing you're doing. Who the hell knows? But just check yourself before you wreck yourself and make sure that, negative habits and patterns and all that stuff, you start paying attention to those to get them resolved so your lower self can join your higher self in, seeing that bigger picture come to fruition, that cleaner slide, that clear perspective, all that stuff. Look at my video, Shadow Fusion, and I talk a little bit more on this. Giving up because of a challenging moment, I went over that already, but really when you are, going back to that story about the people in the fog in the boat. Now, if they were in a challenging moment before they saw that land, they could have very well just said, we're never gonna make it, we're doomed, let's just give up, let's just all jump into the water and commit suicide right now, right? So this is giving up in the moment because there's a challenge, whereas they just needed to see a glimpse of that coastline, right? As soon as they saw a glimpse, they knew they were at least headed in the right direction. And then they could move a little closer, gain more clarity of where they were, of a safe landing place, navigate away from the rocks. So it's all about really letting the thing play out from a wider view, a longer time span, a bigger picture, and not just giving up when you don't see land and forfeiting or resigning or whatever it is. Learn to listen. I will close with this. Learn to listen. So your reality, your external environment, and your higher self and outer intention are all going to help you in receiving images and signals and messages that will help you to create more clarity in your life. You encountering Transurfing TV or Transurfing or some other self-development modality or hired people or whatever it is, this is all the act of you tuning in to something externally or some information or insights your higher self has and listening to it and actually taking action on it, right? Rather than letting that voice or that signal or that information be ignored. Really start to listen to what your reality is telling you and what your higher self has to say about it, because in doing this, you are merging with this clean slide that you've created. You're opening yourself to receive clarity. Therefore, you are living more clearly. Let me know what you think about this video, everyone. My world is taking care of me down below in the comments. And like this video and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching my video. Bye, guys.